Howdy, I'm Ty Nguyen, stand-up comedian, rapper, snacks podcaster. Join me on my show, Wait, That Didn't Kill Me? Podcast, where I interview extremely creative people that took major risks to catapult them to where they are now, and we'll see where they're going. New episode every Wednesday, so tune in. All right, welcome to the Wait That Didn't Kill You podcast, where we interview entrepreneurs about the risks that they took that didn't kill them, so they can still be on the show. My name is Ty Nguyen. I'm your host. I'm a stand-up comedian, slash rapper, slash now podcaster, and we have an amazing guest here today. This guy is a person with the most YouTube subscribers I know. He used to run a very successful YouTube channel called Healthy Junk Food. But now he's taking even more risks. He left all that. Now he's in his car and he's here in Austin, Texas, my city, doing stand-up comedy. So give it up for JP Lambiase. Did I say your last name correctly?
Yeah, Lambiase.
Lambiase?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So JP, I met you at the Mothership open mic. And after seeing your performance, I was like, wow, this guy is very, very funny.
That's where you saw me?
Yeah, that's where I saw you.
So when I got picked to go into the Mothership and performed and did my 3 minutes, right? Mm-hmm. You were there.
Yeah, I was on the same mic.
Because I went so early, I didn't get to see anybody.
Yeah.
I never knew how that went because you're in, you're out, and then you don't hear nothing ever again.
Yeah. So what I would do is after I perform at the Mothership, I would walk up to the Adam Egget. He sat in the back. I would give him £1. So if he needed to say anything to me, he'll say it. And it kind of worked because I did the mic 3 times, got 2 callbacks to be on the show. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing happened.
Well, that's a hack that I just gave you.
Well, yeah, if I ever get back on, I've signed up ever since and never got back on.
Hey, it's like that for me too. I've been signing up and haven't got back in.
So you kind of heard my story through that 3 minutes because I kind of had it curated for that.
Yeah, it's amazing how you were able to fit in your life story in that 3 minutes. So I feel like I know a lot about you. And then I looked you up. I was like, holy shit. This guy's living the life that we all kind of dream of, having fans on YouTube. That channel was up to Healthy Junk Food, up to 3 million subscribers. So I want to ask you, when did you get first started on your YouTube journey?
I first started in 2000. Well, I started making films and stuff with a camcorder. And then 2006, YouTube came out, started throwing all my junk there. But what really made a business happen was when I started dating my ex. Mm-hmm. I wanted to make a YouTube channel. And I was super inspired by Epic Mealtime. Yeah. And I'm like, I want to do food, but I'll just incorporate comedy. Because I was actually doing stand-up comedy when I met my ex. Yeah. And she hosted an open mic, and I performed stand-up comedy at it. And then when we started dating, we created the channel in 2013 together. And I wanted it to be about food and making recipes at home. So at first, I didn't have an expectation for it to grow and get huge. I wanted it to. But I wasn't like, I was just like, no, we'll just like film, it'll be fun, and we'll put it on a website. That way, if we want to cook it again, we got the recipe for it. Yeah. And I'm like, we'll just log it. Yeah. And then I started like throwing it on Reddit. You know what I mean? I got the itch to like promote it a lot. Yeah. So just telling people at work, I'm like, hey, watch my video. I made potato skins, and they're like, it's great. You know what I mean? Yeah. But literally, it was like, I'm not even joking. It was about like a 3-year grind before like we hit any success.
Before it pop off.
Yeah.
And during those 3 years, did you had a lot of fun? It seemed.
I got a lot of little baby step encouragements along the way. So the first thing was this company called Tastemade emailed me and said, "We love your videos." And at first I thought it was spam. Mm-hmm. And then I realized, oh, it's a company. I'm like, oh, damn, they want to partner with me? This is crazy. Basically, it was just an MCN that takes 60% of your or 40% of your income. But I was just like, someone recognized me. So I was just super happy. But they told me I need to upload every week. And that's what I was going to tell everyone. You need to be on a schedule. The minute they said pick a day and a time and advertise that to your audience, that's when I got true discipline and consistency, because I didn't want to let the people down. At that point, we were getting maybe like 10 or 20 comments a video, and those are precious people. Precious people.
Yeah.
So they're like, "Hey, we can't wait for Sunday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for your next recipe to drop." They would be there, the first people to comment, and then the moment you feel like you got an audience is when you start getting comments that say first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Once you get your first, it's awesome. And then back in the day, YouTube had a thing called the 304 Club, where the views would pause at 304. They get stuck there for like hours because YouTube had to like analyze what the actual view count was. Yeah. So people comment under 304 Club because they're that early to a video.
Wow.
It was like a whole saying.
You saying it took you 3 years to gain traction. So
to get like money, to get like real money.
Yeah. Yeah. But how long did it took for you to get like the first 10 comment per video?
A year. I'd say within a year you better. Like if you in a year no one's watching you, you got to change something. That's a you problem at that point.
Yeah, but you say that y'all started with zero expectation. And do you think that helped?
I think that people need to manage realistic expectations. Yeah. I think that the way I do it helps me, but everyone has their own method of how they want to set what their expectations are. Like some people are grandiose and that works for them. You know, some people are like positive affirmation. I'm just like, nah, it's like, I'm just doing this for fun. Like inside, I'm like, I hope it works. You know what I mean? Like, it better work. But like on the exterior, I'm like, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah. It's like, I don't want the embarrassment of failure, right?
We all have that.
Yeah. So it's almost like, I wish I never even told anyone I'm going to Austin for like comedy. You know, like, they're like, oh, he's, you know, like it's just obvious if it fails. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, oh no, I'm just, I'm just taking a break. You know?
Yeah. The thing about failure is people don't care as much as we do. Yeah. We turn into this holy grail of how it'll affect our life, but really,
like honor.
Yeah, like honor. That's kind of weird. Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah. That's one thing. Like, no matter what race we are, we fear failure. Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to be Asian to have honor.
Yeah. Yeah. Mine's a little spicy, but yeah, you're right. It does taste all the same.
Yeah.
So I just want to say that after 3 years, you're finally making money. Do you take any other risks, like buying equipment, quit your job?
Yeah, I mean, there's tremendous amount of risk. I would say the beauty of social media, and that for anyone is, there's little risk other than your time. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Because you don't have to be Mr. Beast. You don't have to give someone 10 grand to get people to like you. Yeah. You just have to be creative. Yeah. But once it started to pick up, I think the biggest thing was I did negotiate with my job. I said, hey, I'll do part-time. I'll do, I gave them options. I was very professional about it. They were a little, like, salty. About it. They're like, no, you're here full time, you're out. Oh. So I said, well, because you kind of put me into that position. Yeah. I go, I hate to say this, but I'm going to have to resign. Yeah. And that was December 15th, 2015. Yeah. I remember the date. And I told my ex, I was like, what are you going to do? I said, we're going to do what I said we're going to do. We're going to go watch the movie Creed in the movie theater. Because that's what I said I was going to do. Because I told her I was going to go in and offer them this option. Yeah. And then I might come back without a job. Yeah. And at the time, we were not making enough to live on YouTube. So we had to just I had to take every ounce of everything I had when I didn't have that 40 hours I was working and apply that to growing this thing. Yeah. Because it was a do or die moment. I'd see either that or I'm going home. Well, do or die, I'd go home, like family. I'd have to move back home. I'd have to drive. I wasn't even living near my mom. Yeah. But luckily my ex kept the job as a bartender.
Yeah.
But that was a risky. But
yeah, that's very risky.
But it's a weird fine line of like like it's not desperation. It was at that point it was excitement.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't worried about the future because I'm like, it doesn't matter. I was just happy this thing was growing. And I got enough validation from people that it was growing that I believed in its success. Yeah. So I wasn't desperate making videos. I was excited and I was willing to use all my creativity and effort into making that happen.
I like how you mentioned you're doing it from a place of excitement. And I think that's key to passion. Because you do it from a place of desperation or I need this to work, then it's like you're trying to fulfill something else besides passion. And I think for YouTube, creativity is very important. What type of creative risks that you took in your videos?
I have a lot of, I feel like the double entendres, the fact that I might have been, some people comedy's very subjective. So if anything, if your comedy's really cringy or hacky, you might turn more people off than bring people on. So I think that's kind of a risk. Because most food channels they're not supposed to be funny. Yeah. They're instructional. Yeah. And I always I think I'm funny. Yeah. And it's one of those weird things where I'm like, I'm a pretty happy person because I can make myself laugh. Yeah. You know, and people might make fun of that, but I'm like, hey, it's kind of a blessing that I like enjoy my own humor. Yeah. But I would add a lot of, jokes. If you watch the old videos, some of them I'm like, ugh, that joke was bad. Yeah. You know what I mean? But like I liked it, and I think that's another thing. If you believe in yourself, you get confidence. Other people will buy into it. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That's absolutely true. That's one of those people that get a lot of hate, but also attention. And you look at it to see what's up. You realize, they're confident in themselves and what they're saying.
And they're not going to be bothered by anyone else. It's the same with being on stage, though. You exactly. Like that to stand up. I could listen to a guy and write all of what he said on paper, no laughs. But in the room, you're dying because he or she is literally they're just having a good time. Yeah. Right? And I've even seen it where people get so likable and infectious where they're just laughing at their self and people just start laughing with it, like the person on stage. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So now, after YouTube, you're taking another huge risk, kind of leaving that behind for now. And you got in your car and you drove from Miami?
Orlando.
Straight to Austin, Texas. With some stop. We'll talk about that. Yeah. Okay. I watched your video and you stopped at a casino. Yeah. Yeah. Playing casino, that's kind of taking risks. How much money did you risk at that casino?
I am an avid gambler. I usually bring a bankroll of around 200 to 500 max. Because I'm like, I find that to be a conservative, fun play, disposable income play. Yeah. So if I leave without it, I'd leave. So having discipline with that risk is very important at a casino. Because then what it does is allows you to have fun, win, lose, whatever, get the adrenaline, endorphins going. But it doesn't become a problem because I know unfortunately have friends and family that have like gambling addictions, and if you let it get too out of control, it will destroy everything. Damn. If the addiction gets really bad. Yeah. So you just stick by these rules. That's what I do, and I generally do very well. So.
What's that rule? Under 500 budget?
Yeah, but there's also some gambling tips and tricks that I have.
Give us one. All right. The best one.
The best one is if you're losing. And you have the itch, you still want to gamble, you leave the table, you go to roulette, you play table minimum corners, and if you win once, it buys you 8 more plays as a wash. Yeah. And because it takes so long to spin the marble and everyone's moving chips, you're having fun gambling, you're losing very little, and you're able to recollect your emotions.
Yeah.
And it's very important.
That's a key. Recollect your emotions.
The whole time it gives you the itch.
Yeah.
To gamble, but you're not on tilt. You're not like making poor decisions.
Yeah.
And I think everything in a casino is emotional, just like the stock market.
Exactly.
And you got to keep your emotions in check.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're the only other person I know that's done that. I do that gambling because I know that if you lose 200, I lost 200. But if I walk out with more than 200, then I made money. But I know that's it. But I'll have fun with that 200.
Yeah, you have fun with that 200. If it loses quick, that wasn't your day to be at the casino.
Yeah,
get out of there,
dude.
Go home.
Yeah, that's that's perfect. Like if you're not feeling it, it's not today. It can come back tomorrow. Yeah. And you've just, but it's that 24-hour wait.
Don't force it.
Yeah, don't force it.
Don't force exactly.
So, you did won something recently. Tell us how much you won and what did you do with that money?
I won $4,700 on one hand.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up leaving around 6,000 total.
Okay.
From other wins or whatever.
Yeah.
But I went to a casino that had a table game, and I play the table games because they didn't have a poker room. I would love to just go to a poker room. The table games are big. They're like slot. There's like blackjack would be a table game.
Yeah.
They're big win, easy to lose a lot of money on because the hands are expensive.
Yeah.
Just to play one hand of this Mississippi stud costs around $40 if you're paying a minimum. You want to see the whole hand out. It's like $40.
Yeah.
You lose, that's $40. You bring $200. What is that? 5 hands.
Yeah.
So it's not a lot. You know, you got to win. You got to be lucky.
Yeah.
So what I did was I got very lucky. Like 100%, I will say 0 amounts to skill in this.
Yeah.
But I ended up getting the second highest hand in poker. It was just a straight flush, which I've never gotten in a casino before. Now, straight flushes, certain casinos would make like hundreds of thousands of dollars. This one was $4,700. But you can't complain, right?
Yeah.
What's really funny is I go to the next casino and it literally the same jackpot was 47,000. Like one more zero. Dang. I'm like, yeah, exactly. But with the $4,700, I did set that aside as an idea I had later when I made it to Austin to kind of have that money furnish a studio apartment. Yeah. And in that time I decided, if I'm going to start from scratch, because I brought nothing with me, like a super sandbox mode, I'm like, I can design whatever I want. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm going to this space would be perfect to have, make it like a little, like a boutique comedy club type of thing. Yeah. So because I was able to start from scratch, I was able to, literally procure everything on Amazon, what I needed. And then I kept tabs on every expense to see what it came out to be. Yeah. And it was still half as less as the winnings.
Damn. So you spent about close to $2,000 to build your studio/comedy stage inside an apartment, which is amazing, unheard of.
You both have.
Yeah. I know. Right. Yeah. I checked his out too.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
But it's like, eat and live and breathe and sleep in what you are passionate about. Yeah. It's, like how you create your environment can bring you joy. That's why, you know what I mean? Like, exactly. Yeah, it just brings you joy. Yeah. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be for everyone. I'm a bachelor. I don't need to have someone being like, I don't really like the black foam all over the place. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And I am considering Airbnb-ing it when I go.
That's smart, actually.
Yeah, I have it all set up to do that too. Yeah. Like I when I was Airbnb-ing, I took an inventory list of what made theirs work, and I just duplicated it in my spot. Nice. Yeah. So they won't need anything. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a risk, building a stage in your apartment.
Yeah, and not just the financial risk; it's also maybe a legal risk.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely risk involved. Because then a lot of people create something, and that's the enjoyment they get. I know so many people that spend way too much time creating a podcast set and don't just do a podcast. Yeah. and then they create this whole set and everything looks so good.
I know
and then
people
they don't
like that.
do it.
Yeah.
They don't do the podcast.
Yeah.
Like, why did you do that?
I know people like that, like have amazing studio to where I'm like, whoa, this is insane, but they did not put out any product.
Yeah.
Or not other people use it.
Yeah.
I think that kind of have to do with fear of failure, which is a big one.
Yeah, and a lot of procrastination. I think.
Yeah,
tons
procrastination.
Tons of procrastination.
Yeah.
I had people that say, "Oh, I want to start a YouTube channel." I'm like, "Do it." He goes, "No, I got to get the right camera." I'm like, "No, you don't." No. I go, "I want to make it look right." No, it won't. Oh, no, you don't get it. I want it to be perfect. No, it won't be perfect.
Yeah.
I like, it's your first fucking video. I go, everyone hates their first video.
Yeah.
Make your first video whatever the hell comes to your mind.
Yeah.
And then build off of that.
You know how as stand-up comedian, when we first record our set, it's really hard to listen to.
Yeah.
To even press play and listen to it.
Yeah.
I feel like with being on camera, we have fear of seeing ourselves on camera. I just last night I had to look up how to talk to camera. So is that something you seem to do it naturally? Is that something you had to learn? How to look at the camera and talk like you're talking to a person?
No,
No,
that was more natural. Like
natural.
I liked the camera since I was like 4.
Oh,
and then
I see.
I wanted to be in I wanted to be in movies. I kept telling my mom, I'm like, "Mom, I'm a really good actor." I'm like 5 years old telling her this, 6 years old, 7 years old.
Yeah.
I'm like, "I'm a really good actor." I'm like, "Listen, I'm a kid. I'm a good actor. You got to get me in stuff because I will be better than them." I go, "If you wait till I'm old, then I'm just competing against everyone that's already doing it."
Yeah.
I go, "I have an advantage." She goes, "I will not exploit my child like that." I'm like, "Exploit me." I'm like, "This is what I want."
Put me in Nickelodeon.
I go, "My cousin is a talent agent for kids. We have an in too."
God.
Wow.
She goes, "Oh, Cousin Jerry. I hate Cousin Jerry."
Cousin Jerry's a scumbag. He only care about his
Jerry
daughter.
drives a DeLorean.
That's
Yo,
pretty awesome.
Happy, how awesome that is.
He can go back in
I
time.
was a kid loving Back to the Future, and Cousin Jerry rolls up in a DeLorean. I get in. Oh my gosh, sitting in that was amazing. He actually kicked me out because I kept talking about how I was going to convert it into a time machine.
It goes like the doors alone, man. Being that 5-year-old and watching those doors in real life. Ooh.
So cool.
So have you done any acting?
I mean, I'll do stuff for various projects here and there.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, I'm about the same. I star in my friends' short films and stuff.
Yeah,
nothing big.
I've done stuff like that. It's so fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
Improv's actually a very helpful tool.
Yeah.
For classes, for whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Rounds of improv, and that was really good. I think that's a good chop for comedians to kind of get really better with. I'd say maybe crowd work. Let's say crowd work is an area of struggle for a comedian. I'd recommend improv to help with that.
Yeah. I think improv helped you just jump into a scene without thinking too much.
Yeah, that's
Because when I took improv lesson 1, I realized my mind, I try to think of a punchline before I jump in. By the time I jump in, the scene had moved on already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's where we met. We met in improv
Oh,
class.
did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you nailed it, by the way. A comedian will always want to be like, I need something funny.
Exactly.
Whereas improv is like, you got to be present. You got to be so present. And I think one of my teachers said, impressive trumps funny. And I love that saying.
Yeah.
Because I agree.
Yeah.
Impressive will always trump funny.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, comedians that are impressively funny are some of the top comedians.
Yeah.
Because they impress you and they made you laugh. It's like a double whammy of like exactly what you need to be doing.
Yeah.
For the art.
Yeah, I'm a filmmaker, and I hadn't acted in a minute, so I started doing a short movie, and I had a buddy of mine come in, and he just wiped the floor with me in acting. Everything I asked, he was able to do it, and I was like, "How are you kicking my butt? How are you kicking my ass?" And he goes, "I do improv classes." I was like, "All right, signed up instantly."
That's so great.
Yeah.
Everything's a sport. Like I always talk about that. People don't realize it, but there's so much correlation with the arts. It's a giant. Another arena of sports.
I like how you brought that up because to me, with stand-up comedy, a good comedian have a good hit rate average.
Yeah.
To where they go up and they kill it most of the time. kind of like baseball,
Yep.
like a good batter
Batting
will.
average,
Yeah, and to me, jokes have hit rates. So all my best one have a high hit rate, and all like the so-so one have a low hit rate.
I love how like Asian you made that. Like I could just see a spreadsheet that's like each venue, each laughs per minute, and then like an actual like meter, a percentage of like how hard the joke hit. Like, but you're right. If someone could grab all that data, you could get a comic rating. Like you could have like you know what I mean, like
exactly.
Uber.
Yeah.
You could get like stamped rating.
Yeah. Like your hit rate.
Like, you have all this data.
You just built the scene in my head.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, not even not even just him. Like your parents actually being productive and pursuing you. It'd be more like, you're not funny. Look, you're JP. You need to go high. It's like that's the thing where I'm saying where like the parent is too hands on,
too transparent.
If a comedian were to make a rap song just bragging about how good their comedy is, I'm like, what's your hit rate like? What's your hit rate like? At that point, it doesn't matter. Somebody could call your joke hacky, but you have a high hit rate, and all your other joke have high hit rate, and you're just killing it.
Dude, my body count is 3, but my hit rate is 1,000.
Yeah,
that'd be good.
Yeah, I know the hit rates of my joke, and to me, going on stage just trying to get those hit rate higher for those jokes. And a good set is just joke with high hit rate back to back.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's a good tip for anybody thinking about doing comedy.
That's a good tip for any comic that isn't self-aware.
Yeah.
Because, like, listen, like, record it, watch it back. I know it's painful, but you can learn a lot from it.
You could, yeah.
You can learn so much just from, I know this sounds crazy, just from the wave file. Because what you'll see spikes.
Yeah.
So I actually extracted an entire show where it was a lineup of 5 comedians. You can tell which comic bombed based on the waveform.
Yo, check your wave file. Check your wave file. Is it off the chart?
Ain't nobody laughing.
Damn, heard a cricket.
Yeah, like you see a little wave cricket.
Yeah.
Like,
dude, AI can analyze how good of a comedian you are based off your wave file. Yeah. Kind of crazy, yeah.
AI is gatekeeping. Oh no, you're not that funny.
We're not. No subjective going on here. This is you're objectively bad.
Yeah. Dude, one of the worst way I've seen comedian bomb, and I've seen several comedians do this, when they go for a long period without anything, they would say something to make the crowd clap. Like, give it up for this. Give it up for this. Give it up for this. It's crazy. Like, they wanted some, like validation.
Crowd baiting.
Yeah, crowd baiting. So they just got, like, applause break by asking the audience for them. Give up for yourself.
There's like a lull in the whole set. He's like, all right, let's give it one more time for the bartenders, like in the back. You know, like you're pandering to the bartenders now.
Yeah.
And you wanted to give you a shot so you can drown the pain that you're pounding right now.
Yeah. So we gotta talk about the first time you gone up on stage. Describe the emotion. It was tough for me. I just want to hear from you.
I curated the best scenario for me, so I got false. I mean, it wasn't bad. I still have it online today.
Yeah?
But yeah, it was in like 2011 or something, and they had a comedy night at this hot dog stand. They just opened it up. There's no comedy in where I was living. I was living in like a small college town, 3,500 people. And they're like, JP, you should do that. You make everyone laugh at the office. You should do stand-up comedy. I'm like, yeah, I should. So I started writing stuff down, and I ended up writing like a 10-minute set.
Nice.
And some of the jokes I still use today.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you grasped onto it quick.
I wanted to do it really badly, yeah. Yeah, you could watch. You could be like, coming for your first time, you'd be like, yeah, well, that joke actually isn't a bad joke.
Yeah.
But yeah, I invited everyone from the office to come. So
how many people were there?
30 maybe.
30 for your first open mic?
Big company.
Yeah.
It was basically everyone I knew in the town. Yeah. Well, it was a small town. I knew everybody.
Yeah.
Think about Austin. You know what I mean?
I would fear performing in front of people I know for the first time.
I practiced it so much, and I went over it with people.
Oh yeah.
Like I do that all the time, though.
Yeah.
Right from the start of writing comedy, I didn't keep it to myself. I was like, "What do you think of this? What do you think of that?"
That's smart.
A lot of it was a little hacky. A lot of it was like Asian stuff. This is one I wrote a long time ago. I said about the Asians having the small penis. I'm like, well, I said I had a really big bush. Like I don't grow a lot of hair, but I got like a 5-inch long bush.
Yeah.
I'm like, any 2 inches of hard penis, that's 7.
Yeah.
It's 5 of it's hidden from the bush.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that was good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's a valid. It's like
it's a relatable joke.
Find it of an angle to like validate us, and then because stand up for the Asian stereotypes.
Hey man, I'm all hair. You're right. So now I'm like 11 inches.
Yeah, okay. I'm saying mine all went there.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying I'm all hair.
Oh yeah. I'm hung, dude.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm not ashamed of this.
So your first performance, did you crush it? Sound like you crushed that shit.
It was everyone that I knew, but here's the reality check.
Yeah.
I try to write more. I want to do another show. None of my friends, none of my coworkers went there. A bunch of college kids, and they just fucking stared at me.
Yeah.
And I bombed horribly. So the second I got that like the kick in the ass. Number 2, and then number 3 time bombed in New York City.
Damn, that's epic bombing.
Yeah,
in New York.
Yep, I drove my ass because I needed the itch. I got the itch. I got the itch so hard because I was very validated on my first show.
Yeah.
And then I got the itch. So
you drove to New York.
Well, where I was living was 3.5 hours from the city. So like people do go to the city a lot where I live.
Yeah. So you drove there. You did how many minutes?
I did 5 minutes in the car for the whole drive.
Yeah.
I get to the venue. You got to pay $5 there for these mics. And I say my first line and then go blank.
That happens. Yeah.
And I'm like, I said this for 3.5 hours in the car.
Yeah.
How do I not remember this?
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn it. I'm like, and I wanted to say it. I didn't want to just move on. You know how you could move on if you really wanted to? I was just stuck on it.
Yeah.
And I don't even know why I was even, like, looking back at it, why the hell was I even nervous? I was at an open mic with only comics in there with their notebooks.
Yeah. But when you first started, you kind of don't know that they're only comics.
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you bombed.
It was a beautiful stage, too. It was like, I forget where it was, but it was like one you see on, like, clips on YouTube where people perform.
Probably got them.
Yeah.
So after you bombed that, did you bomb again? That's 2 bomb in a row.
I was so defeated.
Yeah. Then what did you do? Did you thought about quitting?
I went to a improv in Brooklyn right after and redeemed myself because it wasn't stand up. You could just kind of like riff and be funny, and of course you got a very loose room at that point.
Yeah.
No. I did take a hiatus though until I found out about my ex's open mic.
Yeah.
And then once I found out about that, I went in, crushed it. They don't have comics on there. That was all arts open mic.
Yeah.
And I did my best 5. Like, I knew it really well at that point.
Yeah.
And I crushed it. And then at that point, I went every week. But because I didn't want to, it's the same people. I forced me to write a lot.
New material.
A lot.
I think that's where we get, like, a lot of our training from. It's very important to have something you do weekly, whether it's a mic or a show where you know there's people there. So you would try to do new stuff just to entertain the old people.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is great. I didn't realize at the time how that really conditioned me to write a lot.
Yeah.
And this is just to give a time frame. This is like 2012, 2013. Yeah. And I use a lot of those jokes still.
Yeah.
Like I wrote probably about 40 minutes back then.
I see. Wow. So you were doing stand-up comedy heavy before you started your food channel?
Yeah, which is really funny because none of the comics in Orlando like respected me because they thought I was a YouTuber trying to do stand-up.
Yeah.
So that was interesting, like a weird diversity.
Until they saw you on stage. No,
well, I would go into now because I went to a lot of these divey, very cliquey open mic bars.
Yeah,
and they hated me.
Yeah,
they would. I'm like, why am I doing my material here? They hate me. You know what I mean? Like, even if it was good, they don't want to laugh.
Yeah.
And I felt so judged that I'm like, I hate this place.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? About them not taking you serious because of YouTube?
I don't. It is what it is. I think it's just like it's the same with anything you do in life, right? If you're on OnlyFans, don't get mad when someone judges you. If you're on YouTube, you gotta roll with the punches. You're gonna get haters, and you're gonna get people that like judge you for trying maybe something else out. I'm like, whatever.
Speaking of hate, when I get comment, I get a lot of positive comment, but I only focus on the hateful one. Yeah, now you can relate to that. Now I look at the hateful comment to see if it triggered me.
Okay,
If it triggered me, then something I have to work on internal.
That's cool.
Because hate is fun when I lean into it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I lean into it so good, they're like, oh, you got me. And I'm like, good game. I would type good game. So how do you deal with negative comment? Did it hurt you at first?
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah?
I think the way it hurted me, the worst, this is like brutal, painful, was during my growth, around 10,000 subscribers, I partnered with a big YouTuber named Dame Drops. He did food reviews. He was famous for doing eating Five Guys in his car.
Yeah.
He was famous for eating Five Guys in his car, and then they songified him, and they made him even more famous, and he gets paid royalty on the songify.
Nice.
And he wanted me to be on his channel doing a food segment.
Yeah.
So just imagine this big like black dude has a huge audience from what he did, and some like dweeby Asian goes on and shows him how to make cheeseburger sliders.
Yeah.
And the comments are like painfully unfunny, cringe. Who is this? Get rid of him. And everyone at the office was reading the comments, laughing while I was like, you know what I mean? Like, read more, JP. These are so funny. They're tearing you up. They're like, they are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, this hurts so much.
Yeah, it does hurt in the beginning.
But yeah, I think it's real. You have to get a thick skin if you're going to be online. And if it affects you really negatively, maybe second question, should you do this? Or deal with it. You know what I mean? But you can't become a victim, and you can't get really you can do whatever you want. But I mean, for the sake of their mental health, maybe don't do it if you can't handle it. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah. Like I say, I use it to strengthen me, internally.
100%. Like you said, that's such a wise way to take something bad and make it good. It's kind of like when I play, because I play pickleball pretty professionally, not professionally, but pretty competitively. Yeah. And if you play against a brand new person, you want to be like, what am I playing? Oh, this sucks. But you can turn that into a good thing. Yeah. And by that, I mean practice stuff that you're working on. Maybe make the hit balls up so they slam it at you so you can try to so it's like you working on yourself. When you hear a hate comment, don't be like, oh, it's a hate comment. Find a way to get a learning experience from a hate comment. That's brilliant.
Yeah. I also want to say, you have an itch for acting, and you told me once you want to make your own movie dealing with laser tag. Can you talk more about that?
Talk about risks and not killing you. Yeah. That is so ambitious of me to want to do that I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? You know how you're saying take a risk and do it? I would think that for it to be done well, you need a budget. And Hollywood takes risks with well, they don't take as big of risks, obviously. If they're movie bombs, that's a lot of money that you're losing, is what I'm saying.
But having a movie bomb is still pretty epic. Like a Mason. If you made it there and then you bomb, it's not a bad place to bomb from, but.
Well, what were you thinking? The Room, The Room.
Yeah, The Room. Yeah.
It's become a cult classic because of how bad it is. Yeah. But that's the thing, though. What's worse than being bombing or bad is just being forgettable and bland.
So that's what you're afraid of if you make this
movie?
No,
I'm afraid of the budget. I don't have the budget. I can't. And I would dedicate the risk would be almost I would say a year of my life, a ton of money, and And like, sure, I would make something I would like ultimately love. I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's a huge risk.
It's a huge risk, yeah. But this podcast is all about risk.
Okay.
So
and peer pressure. So like it's
so when in your timeline do you think this is gonna happen? After you gain more experience or what?
I guess if the right people fell in place, it would definitely happen because I don't have a ton of experience. I don't have a lot of equipment. I've never made a movie. I would want to film it how I would film, though.
Yeah.
Pretty guerrilla style. I don't want it to be overproduced. That's where a lot of the money comes into play. Equipment, renting equipment.
Yeah.
Amount of people you need on set. It's a total waste of money. You can deliver a story without any of that. So I would keep it very low budget. But it's all about the story, the writing, the feeling, the emotion, the direction, the pacing.
Yeah.
Because if you have all that, no one cares how it looks.
Yeah.
You know? Like artists that are obsessed with cinematography are going to have issues.
Yeah.
But the average person watching it, that's the people that you need to impress. Those are the people who are buying a ticket.
Yeah.
Those are the people who are spending money downloading it or whatever it is that wherever you're putting it.
Yeah.
But laser tag, yeah, it's it would be a true story of my life, a little biopic of a little part of my let's say coming of age story of me getting good at this very random game that is actually a worldwide competitive sport called Laser Quest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyone that knows about Laser Quest is going to be like, I need to watch that because it is just a competitive laser tag.
Yeah.
And the way you get good at it is so weird and bizarre. Like the way you hold the gun and the way you dance around, you get made fun of. So when you see if you ever go to a laser tag arena and see one dancing around and then they beat everyone by a 10x the second place score, he's a member. He's someone that's trained.
Yeah.
Wow. I did not know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I lose, like, you'll see there, and at the end of the score, it'll say, the Destroyer with 80 million points, and it's like somebody that's a little kid that's not, because I didn't see them. You don't.
And that's the best part of, like, my story is because when I met the members, it was literally like, I went one night on a Friday night, and this guy's just dancing around, and I'm like, bro, I was kind of laughing at you at first, but you, like, destroyed us. I go, how did you do that? He goes, you want to learn? His name was Zephyr, too.
Zephyr.
He goes, I'm like, come back Wednesday, 6 o'clock.
Damn.
I show up, and he's like, all right, I'm going to have you meet the squad. I go, this is Kyle. He's our, our number one. We got Prophet. And, and then he's naming all these people, and and then there's Rat. He's like, I'm Rat. And it was like this 6-year-old kid, and he was badass.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. And I think he would make such a great antagonist. Like my antagonist, like, because I'm an 18-year-old, and like my biggest arch enemy is this 6-year-old kid. It's like bullying me. But yeah, it's I started training on Wednesdays and started learning the tricks of the game.
So will you say you're are you a pro now? Pro laser tag?
No, it'd have to be like Laser Quest.
Yeah.
I would probably do okay at other ones, but
Yeah.
It's based on the equipment.
Yeah.
Because you really learn the equipment, you learn the infrared, you learn the angles.
Yeah.
Because you want to shoot at different angles. You don't shoot straight on because you don't have a big enough radius. And then when I started learning these tricks, they literally gave me rules like Fight Club. They're like, there's 2 rules you have to follow, though, being a member. I'm like, yeah, what's that? I'll follow them, which I didn't because I'm a kid. Yeah. He goes, rule number 1, you can't play non-members. I'm like,
this is exclusive.
I'm like, that Zephyr did last night.
Yeah.
And he goes, and then the other one, you can't bash a birthday party.
Bash a birthday party? What's that?
So on Saturday, there'll be a bunch of little kids' birthday parties that show up, and there's just clusters of them. And a lot of people that are good members, like
they slaughter them.
Yeah, they just slaughter them. You literally feel like a Ninja Turtle going against the Foot Clan. Because what they do is they all gang up on you because they think that they can take you down in numbers. But you know how to dodge. You know how to like dodge the infrared, and then you drop the gun to the ground at an angle up, and you just tag everyone's chest. you just pop like 6 kids all at once, and then if you go with your buddy, you go back to back like you're double dragon. Just like
You picked up all my reference, by the way. The reason is because when you get shot, it pauses them.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah,
you
that's
have,
true.
You have like 5 kids in a row. You hit them on the road, they have to wait. So then you just keep moving around.
Yeah.
but they all follow you, and you get higher scores. So once you get good at the game, it's all about chasing the highest score you can get. And the only way you can do that is if you have clusters of people. So birthday bashing was the best. When I would fight non-members, I would be so frustrated. I'm like, where is everybody? Like, I'm trying to run it. I'm like trying to just like force myself in interactions with people. And what happened was I ended up going on a weekend night and tagging, getting some teenagers really pissed at me. And one of them like literally jacked me up against the the wall. Yeah, and put the gun up to my throat. And then another guy started like, like hitting me. Yeah. And then I had to call Marshall like a little bitch. Yeah. Because they're in there in case
like
stuff
the bodyguard. Marshall.
And then I leave the arena, and someone smashed my side view mirrors of my car. God. Yeah. I was living in like kind of like the area wasn't the best area. Yeah. I roll up to members night and my mirrors dangling. They're like, you broke rule number 1, didn't you?
Dude, I could see the movie based on how you're describing it.
Yeah,
just
right?
that scene with your mirror messed up and like all the kids bashed
and I wanted to, it's a funny concept. It's silly and goofy being laser tag, but it's real.
It's real,
and it's a real life, and that's what's so good about the dynamic in film that takes themselves seriously. To a certain extent, because the dark grittiness. Really like that. You remember the film, like RoboCop. We will never forget that horrific scene where the cop is just getting brutally murdered. They don't do stuff like that anymore. Like film doesn't touch that disturbing line. I'm not saying getting beat up and getting vandalized is that dark. But it is for laser tag film.
It is dark.
It sounds like you have the legs already. Like for the whole movie, it sounds like you could keep going.
Oh, absolutely. Because the stakes are basically winning the tournament because I get robbed at gunpoint for trying to be a middleman selling a half a pound of weed in front of my mom's yard in the suburbs. Oh God! I get fouled from a grocery store. Picked up some guys in the car. They're fanning money. I didn't know that I was getting followed.
Wait, this is real?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you was part of the story. This really happened to you.
But I figured it'd be a good beginning of the film. Like if you see a film where I'm getting literally like
it's like half biographic.
Then like and they're like and the dealer's just like I need $2,500. Like you owe me $2,500. And I'm like, where am I going to come up with that? That kind of sets the stage for like the stakes of the film. I'm a kid. $2,500 is a lot of money. And then I go and play the laser tag, and then I start getting whatever good at it. But then someone during the day says, all right, guys, like this is in June. We're all training for this. And I'm like, what's that? Like, you don't know about the tournament? I'm like, what's the tournament? And then it happens to be like enough money for me to pay off the dealer.
You can go a lot of ways with that. That's a really because you're right. You have the foundation of a real life motion. And you can just visually figure out how you want to say that. And
the choreography is what I really want to nail because when you're playing laser tag, the way they play would be like watching John Wick. Like it would be just really bad, like ballet. I'm not saying shaky cam. I'm saying I need trained people that know how to, and like you can just add VFX for the lasers to make them be spot on, like accurate. Because I'm not wanting them to actually be that accurate. But they could do the moves where they would use a mirror, like move and like hit the mirror and be like, got him. And I'm like, come, and you know what I mean? And like have dialogue between the players. Be like, Prophet, you suck, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, have like clever dialogue where you're in it when the game starts. And then when the game starts, you have to do a code of conduct, which gets your heart going. And then you're like, vacuum seals, air vac takes place in T-minus 15 seconds. 14, and you're like, it's like the Hunger Games. You're like,
it's like the Hunger Games.
Yeah, and you're sitting there like with your gun, like, like first person maybe, going through, and then like standing, like just being like, all right, ready? And then like boom, like you go. And what we do as members is we duel.
Yeah.
So no one's like hiding. There are snipers that hide, but for the most of them, there's 2 roles like called heroes. They're the roles that are literally going like sparring. So you're basically like side to side again. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then when you train, you spar with a person. And when someone's better than you, they're better than you.
Yeah.
You'll never be able to tag him. Kyle was like God mode good.
Yeah.
So like we couldn't tag him. He was just too good.
God mode. Huh?
So he basically, Kyle, I'm like, how'd you get that good? And then one day he threw me a laser pointer. I'm like, what's this for? He goes, practice at home.
Damn,
dude.
So
all these people are pretty cryptic.
So he goes, I go, what do I do? He goes, you just put like, I put little circles stickers on my wall while I'm just like watching TV. I'll just be like,
oh, like shooting. Like he's shooting.
Yeah, aiming.
Yeah.
He's aiming. He's getting accuracy with the laser.
And these are mostly the ones with the backpack and like they're tethered.
They're real heavy duty.
So the best way to shoot it, isn't it like this? Like when you're
not your thumb.
Your thumb, okay.
So you hold. It's basically what you did, but you do it with your thumb. You got to get a really strong thumb trigger finger.
Yeah.
And you want to pulsate. You can't just spam it. You have to like a rhythm, like
yeah.
You got almost want to be like.
So you got to kind of just like this.
No, like this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So gun, flip, shoot, flip, bottom, shoot.
Aliens.
There's so many different. So with that move, you can get people behind you. You can drop to the ground, get an angle right up.
Yeah.
And there's also gun flips we learned. Gun flips are only for
John Wick.
they're only for like style points. Like if I could tag you, flip it, drop it, and then tag you again. Like that's like teabagging someone in Halo. You know what I mean? It's just like the ultimate like disrespect. But those are all the lore. Like the whole film could have lore like involved. Like you start as the audience have to learn the terminology.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, dude, it used to be huge. On Ben White and 35, they have the Blazer tag, and I remember being that place being placed all the time.
I wanted to check that out. Every time I drive by it, I'm like, dude, is that the spot where I can like film
I
this?
probably it once. It's awesome. I think you could film there too.
That'd be so cool.
Oh yeah, a rap I know film his music video there. They never used the whole thing and put his name on like the billboard that they have there. So it's totally doable. Out of everything we talk about, I noticed you got most excited for laser tag, more than comedy, more than your YouTube. So out of everything you have to pick, bring you the most joy, is it laser tag?
I think creating the film, because that's such a monumental thing. It's like people that write a book. Yeah. You know, like, sure, I did the YouTube and like doing comedy. I think there's a blessing and curse to getting really famous with comedy. Yeah. I think it's a dangerous drug. Mm-hmm. It is. I do. So it's like, be careful what you wish for, all you comedians out there. But a lot of these comedians, they're all, we're all kind of fucked up in a sense. Yeah. So if any of them seek this fame and fortune, like, I just see like Yoda saying, you're not ready. You know what I mean? Like, I could just see that some people aren't going to be able to handle it. Yeah. Same with the success on YouTube. Like, these kids, man, like, it all depends on your humility, how grounded you are. Because I feel like you can create a bunch of monsters. Yeah. Yeah. I can almost see it like, oh, I hope he doesn't get big. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see that with more power. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. One thing I heard, somebody told me that money and fame, it amplify who you already are. Yeah. So you have enough dirt, enough internal stuff. People could see that. Yep. Yeah. 100%. And they'll just magnify it.
In the beginning of The Good German with Tobey Maguire, he kind of says that. He says money gives you the ability to be who you are. Yeah. And that's always what he just said. Just stuck right in my
head. The Mask is a good reference to that.
The Mask, yeah.
With Jim Carrey.
Yeah. I need to watch that again.
When you put it on, you become like an exaggerated version of yourself, I guess. Yeah. And like, obviously, if you're evil and you put it on, you just like turn into a giant monster. Like the whole fame and fortune or whatever, amplifying who you are type of thing, it's so true. Yeah. And, again, it's scary, right? You know, you never know. That's why there's like well, not to get into politics, but it's like so much corruption and stuff. So
yeah. So I have a phrase that I go by now, and it's you'll never be ready for anything, which I say to help me jump into stuff and be okay with not being ready. Mm-hmm. So when do you think you'll be ready to make this laser tag movie?
Well, based on what you said, I'm never gonna be ready, right?
Yeah, you're never gonna be ready.
I'm never gonna be ready. I think what I said was I'll stand by. I think that if I come across the right people, because I don't really, I would say, yeah, like someone that's like, oh, I have experience in this. I know this guy that can do this.
Yeah.
I know this guy that can do that. That would probably be like a bit of an affirmation to be like, oh yeah, let's pursue this. These things are kind of coming into place to make this happen.
Yeah.
Such as blazer tag.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that that's there,
yeah.
I could, on an off day, just be like, hey, let me just check this place out.
Yeah.
And then let's say, oh yeah, you can film a movie here, and then I'd be like, well, I got the green light there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I think it's all about just putting all the pieces together that would make it happen. At the talent, obviously, and then it's so ambitious.
Yeah,
that's all I can say about that. It's so ambitious because I would have to have someone help film. You know, it's so ambitious. And then I'd have no control over the shots if I'm playing a character, which would probably be better if I don't play a character because then I could be the director.
Well, the thing is, when you pick people to be on this film, you gotta pick the best of the best. People that are good at their field. Like a good director, the best sound person, and you put together a team where they all have experience, so they bounce off the experience. So I was actually in a film. I have like a speaking role, just like one sentence. It's an independent film, and they raised like $300,000 for it. I'm actually going to a party on Saturday for it around 9 p.m.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's a kid. He's not really a kid. He's like 25-year-old, but he lived in Pflugerville. Mm-hmm. Like, and he heard my song. I have a rap song about Pflugerville, so he wanted me in the film. But I was amazed how like he was able to make that money and just direct people. He had like a whole cast. Like his camera was like huge. One of those cameras where you need like a pony. Yeah, and he had like a professional person running that camera. Have like two other director, sound, PA, wardrobe person, everything. It felt like a real movie set, and he was able to pay people. He paid me like $100, which I'm grateful for.
How did he fund that?
That's where you got to learn. So yeah, if you're free on Saturday, I'll invite you to the party.
So that's like that's opening up a big can of that question, right?
Yeah.
There's probably a lot that goes in. I mean,
I know he did funding, but I don't know where. I don't know if like studio help fund that. Could they do? But he got the money, like $300,000.
No. Yeah.
It's just you could crowdfund it. You already have a huge network.
I also saw the lookbook. So what people that make movie do to pitch their movie, they make like a lookbook with all the character, all the film that's similar to it, and like an idea of the script. Yeah. So I saw that, and recently I just got email if I like to be on a film about Asian gangster or whatever, and they sent me like a lookbook. So I read through it and stuff, and it's like a casting agent from like A24. So most likely it'll be a A24 film. What's up?
Where do you put yourself to get like roles, like backstage or something? Or
to be honest, this is kind of crazy. Just by doing stand-up comedy, I managed to get like 2 acting agency, which I gave up on because I didn't feel like filming or this. He helped me with some filming for some big role for A24 film.
Yeah, directed.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm probably not there yet as far as acting goes. I'm just known for being a creative guy. So all the role that I got is due to me being creative, or they see somebody, oh, he would look good for that role.
Yeah.
But I never got it through the two agency that I have, which does send me like good roles. I just never landed those roles. I just gave up on them. Like I don't even contact them. Like when they like, hey, have you sent this in yet? I don't reply because, yeah. So, yeah. I think that's how I'm gonna do it.
That's good.
I'm gonna increase my my value just by doing what I'm doing, like this podcast, and let them come to me for those specific roles. Yeah.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, acting is not my number one thing because you have to remember a lot of lines. Yeah. A lot. Yeah. But the good thing is you can take them over and over and over again. That's why you want the good director that know what they want from you. But I am interested in acting, like the whole process and stuff, to like take a break from comedy and go do acting. But yeah, you just gotta, I guess people discover me, but I think if you're known as a creative person, then people kind of come to you or you get recommended. Like, if I know you and know what you're trying to do, so when I talk to a director that know how to fundraise, I'll be like, oh, my friend JP, he's thinking about doing this movie. He just don't know how to fundraise it. Then they'll give you that expertise from their experience. Yeah.
Makes sense.
I guess this is where I come in because this is definitely, I'm picking up like the whole risk thing on the podcast. Because Ty was like, come over, we'll do a podcast about risk. I was like, okay.
Oh, and he's baiting. He didn't fill you in on my real agenda, and now you're getting the.
No, I like it. No, I've known Ty for years now, and this is the one thing I will say. If I ever do get funny in stand up, he gets my credit because I took his class, and it really helped me with that backbone. Now that's stand up comedy is something I just started. I've gone up 15, 16 times in a row, but I've done it. I am a filmmaker. I do movies. I do produce. I do direct. Do all that. I do act. Now I took a break to learn all this. Yeah. Now I'm coming back to doing more movies and film. Any question you have, you can ask me, dude. And we wouldn't have to do it for this, but this like an off camera, but like taking risks.
Be another.
No, I love that
thing. Yeah. And the reason I'm saying I'm speaking about it is because like I do have a was it not a cameo, but a Ty was one time if you could purchase a video from him, and he did. I got one from him, and he sent me, and at the very end he said, put me your damn movies. And I was like, oh, I'm taking a break, but now I'm back. But he gets it. I'm seeing him and the growth. And even when I directed him, this is the one thing you really want to do when you're just on somebody's set. Just that you're not, somebody called you, come up here. You want to be able to listen and be observant. But the number one thing is patience and be ready and waiting to when you go. But the way he let me direct them, he's directable. It's very like he takes it in, he processes it, and you're like, okay, I've dealt with a lot of people. There are some people that they're not good at communicating. They're not good at skills or anything, but they film great on camera. So you have to learn that. So a lot of people always feel like, do you want to really be in a film or do you just want attention? But if you want attention, you can bring me attention. Great. There's a buyout. But the thing is just get ready. And you already do YouTube. Just get ready for like a long day. If you can,
it's very long.
If you can,
I've been on a lot of very long productions.
That's when you know it's a good production. Yeah. You remember how we talk about some people build a podcast studio and they never like do any podcasts? There's something worse than that. There's people that make whole film and never release them. So that's like they're taking a bunch of other people's dream and it's dying along with them.
That's my other biggest fear.
Of what? Not releasing it?
Not getting it done.
Oh yeah, The last year I was supposed to be in a movie, a fan film at that, and you can tell through the conversation and they weren't ready. But when I got on set, you can feel that an experience, and it does kill the vibe. But if you can get to the end and make the movie, then it's okay. Doesn't matter how we get there. But you're right. Like but the thing I was gonna say,
mine would be kind of timely because I'm thinking about the cast. I would probably want like young people. Yeah,
you want the people that you see coming up when you were playing laser tag.
Like the people that I would have 100% visualized. I can visualize them in my head.
Well, I also, because it's a slice of life to me, we could see where Kyle is now in life. You know what I mean? It could be like he was a badass then. Let's see where he's at now kind of thing, and where you going back into it. You can be an older version of yourself, going back and seeing younger versions.
That's what I was thinking.
You can do that, yeah.
I thought that would be fun.
Dude, right off just from this conversation, you kind of want to be, let's say the movie, you kind of want to be a stand-up, you really don't know. So then you go to your job and you do stand-up and you bomb. Your employees, your coworkers laugh at you or whatever. So then you go to the laser tag now as an adult where it makes you're like, I used to love this place as a kid. Now you go and start playing it and you're like, oh, I love it. So then you realize you start going through all those traumas again that when you were younger, as spitting ideas out. But it's something like that.
I like origin stories.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what I love when I'm watching like Marvel and stuff. Like I feel like the reason Marvel really fell off is like, let's be honest, or once the story arc's fulfilled, like once Tony Stark got the machine, it's like, oh, you're gonna get a nicer machine, and then you get a nicer machine, and then you die.
Yeah, the origin story.
I'm still pissed. I'm still pissed.
I'm just like I love to see the progress. And that's what would really drive me as a viewer watching this, being like, oh, the Lord, this being like seeing the training, like not just a montage, but like real progression.
Yeah.
Of actually learning something and getting better, and then having that second arc where he does hand me the laser pointer, and I finally make friends with the antagonist, who actually like says you're not bad, like you got to get better though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and this will help you.
Dude, you're right. I mean, I think you just have a lot. You already have it. That's what I'm saying. You have the packages. Some people start off with the like idea, and then
you
already have.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It happened. It was my life, so it wrote itself. But what I'm realizing is these nuggets of details that can be added to the film that just turn it up even more.
Tony Todd, the original Candyman, I had a talk with him, and he had told me, he goes, your movie you're doing now is a stepping stone for your next movie. So maybe that first movie you just need to get out of the can, and you'll learn, and you can do the second one the way you want to do it, or third one, or fourth one.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Same with YouTube. Like I said, your first videos, just do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, get your feet wet, go through it, and then the next one, be like, you're going to do a better one because you already did it.
Yeah.
And then once you have like a few in the bucket, then you're like, okay, you have, things happen. I think, but I get it. Exactly.
Yeah. So, we know you're taking out risks. I want to ask, what do you do to recharge or calm your nervous system before you do stuff?
Video games.
Yeah?
100%.
That helps?
Yeah, I was, believe it or not, I was raised on Nintendo. My parents were divorced. I was raised on Nintendo with my dad, and Sega Genesis with my mom. And my mom had a Macintosh, and my dad had a PC.
Wow.
So I was heavily gaming.
That's me. That's my background. Yeah, that's why I'm laughing. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not alone.
Heavy gamer, a very good gamer. In fact, I was this could be another film, but I was the world's number one rock band. Our band, the four of us, were the number one rock band on Xbox Live for over 8 months straight, and we got flown out to Boston to do a documentary, and we also got flown out to New York City, Total Request Live, MTV Studios, to film a whole show of us competing with the top 3 bands in the world for the release of the second Rock Band 2 game. And we all got gifted an Ion drum set. We got like a allowance of $1,000 that night to just do in the city what we wanted to, and the copy of the game.
Wow, that's amazing.
Did you win?
No.
You didn't win?
No.
But did you feel that you were competing?
Well, we were the number one in the world, but then it got online, so we're an organic band.
Oh, I get you.
These people all met in Texas. It was the Texas. Their band was called Here Comes a New Challenger, and they were better than us. Like, it's not one of those. It's not a game where you're like, we could beat them. Like, you're either better or not better.
Yeah.
Because you've seen them play the song. Like, yeah, they hit that. I sometimes miss that. You know what I mean? So we knew we were gonna win.
Yeah.
But the whole concept that led me to this was I've been a competitive gamer in many facets. Like Halo 2, I did tournaments and competed in. Yeah. So like when you're raised with gaming, it's like Tiger was raised at 2 to golf. Like you're gonna be good at that.
Yeah.
No matter what, even with new consoles or new controllers, you have the those fundamentals from a child.
Yeah.
4 years old playing like Mario.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So I really do unwind with that, which is funny because when you're in a relationship, females, women, they usually like to nap or like they that's how a lot of them.
Yeah.
I don't want to typecast.
I nap to recharge.
Yeah. Some people nap. Yeah. But when let's not even say women. Let's just say your partner. People that are different will like to nap. And then they see you, and like she would walk in on me. She goes, "I thought you were napping." I'm like, "I am. I'm like playing Call of Duty." She hears guns going off and grenades. Yeah. She goes, "This is how you nap." I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah, it's extroverted, right? You're you like to recharge around people, or like to be by yourself.
Sometimes I like being by myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a mixed bag.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes if I'm alone too much, I need to go out and socialize.
Okay.
But if I'm out and socializing too much, I want to be alone. So,
yeah. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. I'm pretty
getting
much
lost
the same.
in a game. I like getting lost in a game. Like right now, I'm like recharging with Fallout 4, and I'll tell you what, that is a game you can get lost in. Holy hell.
Yeah.
Almost to the point of it being a detriment. I'm almost just like gotta stay away from the Fallout
too
4.
much. Yeah. It's like bringing a lot of money to the casino.
Yeah. It's just too much.
That's a
So I want to ask, what are some of your biggest fears?
I think like right now, like
Making that movie.
that would be a fear. I would also say just like I'm not really employed right now, so
the fear
like,
of money running out. That's a fear.
Fear of money running out, but also fear of me not being able to do
stuff like getting trapped in a job.
Like, I mean, I want to rebuild my social presence. I want to make, what brings me joy is making film, videos, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Comedy influenced, of course.
Yeah.
But let's just say I just keep doing that for the next 3 years. And then I think the fear is going to constantly stack where you're like, I'm not good at, nothing's happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
I know what you mean. The fear of all your work amount to nothing.
Yeah.
And you put in.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a good fear though,
Yeah.
because that'll keep you in your job.
I'm
sorry. That's a good fear. It'll scare you. Like that'll put you if you're not willing to risk, you're not willing to face the fear. You're gonna stay where you're at.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, that's the only way that you'll grow. Like I spent like $100 on these lights, so I know that every risk I take, it kind of either open me up to more possibility. That's why I take risks.
Of course.
Yeah, because
opens up the door for something.
Yeah,
regardless of what happens.
Yeah, so you think an option you never thought of before, or you met some people that just change your perspective on things.
I made a app during COVID.
Yeah, you made an app.
It was a big risk. And
That's
crazy.
And
it cost a lot of money. It was a game too. It was actual game.
Yeah, is that game here?
It
never released.
It did. It made it on the app stores and stuff. But I was so exhausted with the process of it and kind of lost the passion for it.
Yeah.
By the time that it was like online, I didn't promote it, and then it just costs money to sit there.
Yeah.
But the concept's great. But the app was like, it still wasn't what I wanted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I kept going back to these guys and.
It's a game, right?
Yeah, basically it's a virtual deck of cards.
Okay.
So I wanted it with FaceTime. What I wanted to do is be able to play the family games that I play with my dad and stuff. My family, while we couldn't be together.
Yeah. So FaceTime while playing that game, like.
Yeah, they had face and audio built into the app.
Yeah.
Kind of like Playhouse. I think that was one that people were doing during COVID.
Yeah, I remember Playhouse.
And basically what you would do is you physically be able to deal the cards and play any card game you want. So it wasn't limited to just like, spades or poker.
That's a great idea, actually. Yeah.
So like in VR, stuff like that's really easy to do.
Yeah.
Because you have the headset on, you have a deck of cards, you can just you could show a magic trick if you really wanted to. But the whole point was to be able to make any card game you wanted. And that's what led me to a open source developer option where like the user can program their own card game.
Yeah.
Because there's billions of card games that no one knows about in the world.
Yeah.
And they can just name it the name that their family makes it and says, hey, Nana, I made the card game on this app. Download the app. You can play it.
Yeah.
And then it goes to a database. So it's almost like an open source card game, like, library, like, where people can just keep making more card games.
Is that card game still on the App Store? Or you took it down because it costs money?
Yeah, it's not on there. It's called Virtual Deck.
Virtual Deck?
Yeah. Other people, like, I did do research before.
Yeah.
Like, other people tried to do stuff like it.
Yeah.
But it didn't work.
It didn't work?
But it was, like, real developer people. Like, it was very, like, on web browsers and stuff.
Yeah. That seemed like something it'll take a lot of tweaking to get to work.
That's where I was saying if you made it a builder would be the best, because then you wouldn't have to mess with like all the logistics.
Go back and forth.
Someone could just be like, you get dealt 5 cards, you program it so you get dealt 5 cards. You program it that you could use multiple decks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's so many different card games. Like Euchre only uses like face cards, so. Yeah.
That was a big risk for you to take, like
it was,
money and time wise.
It was.
Yeah, even though it didn't pay off, did it open your mind to other possibilities?
It gave me a window in the world of like app creation. I think sometimes you need to do something to know that it like you don't want to do it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like making this film, I could be like 7 months in and be like, I hate this. You know what I mean? But like that'd be horrible.
Yeah.
I don't think I would.
I don't think you hate it.
No, there's no way.
Because you have experience making video. You edit.
I wouldn't hate it. I would get discouraged though. I feel like I'd be full of stress and discouraged constantly because like I'm reliable. It's my baby. It's my dream. But I got all these employees and I'm like, you know what I mean? It's like when you run a restaurant and you got like Jimmy's like, what do you mean you're sick? You're not sick. Get it? You know what I mean? Like.
You need
reliability,
an assistant director. That's what you need.
Yeah, someone to like keep people like.
Yeah.
So I don't lose my shit because like I want this done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would probably get to me, and also like, it's like for example, building IKEA furniture. I don't know if this is you, but I would never half build something and just do something else.
Yeah.
I have to get it done.
Yeah.
So I think I'd be kind of like, if I had a goal for the day and I didn't meet it, I'd be like, we're not leaving until this is done.
That's a good mind state to have. Kevin Hart's mom actually taught him, whatever you do, get it done. So she would enroll him in swim class in high school. He didn't care about it, but he would show up every day and then swim. And he know he's the worst swimmer, but he completed it. So that stuck onto him for the rest of his life. So everything he does, he get it done. Yeah. So he's somebody that takes a lot of risks. Yeah, I look up to Kevin Hart. Shout out to Kevin Hart.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So,
I've listened to a lot of his stuff too.
Oh yeah,
audiobooks and stuff.
Nice. Yeah, I listened to his podcast, Goldmine.
I think that's what
you listen to that. It's a great podcast. He's good at it.
Look into it.
Yeah. I have a question for you. What do you think is the meaning of life?
That's a good question because I don't really.
You can take your time.
I don't get existential like that.
Well, you can take your time. I think whatever you come up with would be honest for what you know at the time. Just do it in one sentence.
To live.
Okay, that's a good one. Some people are doomer and bloomer. So the doomer think, oh, the world's gonna end. We're headed toward a dystopian future. Bloomer see like, oh, new seed can grow. I think Kendrick Lamar is a bloomer. He said it in his song. Which one are you?
Oh, well, I think based on my answer, I fall into the bloomer.
Yeah, I think you're a bloomer because they to
because that was a subconscious answer.
Yeah,
unconscious answer. Yeah, it was just like what I. Yeah, that's why we're here. We're here to live.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
and if you're not living I love life. Like I love living life. I get excited for stuff and I have a lot of interests.
Yeah.
And without life you wouldn't have that.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have the opportunity to have interest or have this experience.
I see. You're very grounded. So where do you think you go after you die?
I think it's kind of like when you get like I think one time. Like when you're in a coma, you know when someone wakes up from a coma,
and
like I don't know if they feel like time's passed, but I kind of feel like that's that. Like, you're just like unconscious.
Okay, so when you die, you're just unconscious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like you know, obviously you don't feel pain. You don't, and time is irrelevant. And because when they wake up, like nothing happened.
Yeah.
During that time, they're just out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, isn't that just a simulation of death?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
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 So
I've been put under too for surgery and stuff. I just
in a coma.
Yeah.
not coma. I was
But-
I was deep in a like when they anesthesia.
Yeah.
And when I was under, I just came to, and I was like, that was that.
Yeah, the doctor tells you count back to 10, and then you count back, and you're in the other
You're
room,
done,
and you're
yeah.
like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
what happened?" You know time's passed, but you don't feel it.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and you didn't dream during. I didn't dream.
Yeah.
Nothing happened.
Yeah.
I was just done.
yeah.
It's like anesthesia is almost like if like a android where you just turn the key off. It's like,
Yeah.
and then you turn back on. Like, what happened? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I want to ask you this. You were adopted by white parents. Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
That was a risk that they took on you. Why did they do that?
Why did they adopt me?
Yeah.
They adopted 3 kids. My mom wanted to be a mother, and my dad was in the Air Force, and they were in Taiwan for longer than they expected. I think they wanted to procreate in the States.
Yeah.
So at that point, my mom found out she wasn't able to have kids anymore. So they both went into the adoption. And at the time, a lot of Koreans were being put up for adoption.
Yeah.
In the 80s.
Oh, I see. And then
so there's like tons in my I grew up with a bunch of adopted Korean.
At what age did you got adopted?
2 weeks, something like that. Like maybe a month.
Like a baby?
I was really young. Like I was the youngest you could be, basically.
Yeah.
I have a question about. So was it you got adopted with your siblings or with 2 other?
No, my parents just were like, "Oh, let's adopt a Korean," and then 3 years later, let's adopt another Korean, and then 2 years later, let's adopt another Korean.
Gotta catch them all, man.
So you have like 2 other siblings that are Korean.
Yeah.
Are they in the same industry?
Well, sad story. My middle sister, she died in a car crash when she was 23.
Yeah.
She gave birth to my niece.
Yeah.
Who's 24. And my niece has a baby.
Wow.
So I'm a great uncle.
Wow.
But yeah, my older sister was, because I was the youngest. My oldest sister is very much taught me everything. She's very competitive, very athletic. She gets obsessed with stuff and becomes the best at it.
Yeah.
She just wasn't able to apply that with life, so she got her PhD and didn't do anything with it. And it's just paying student loan debt, living very frugally.
Oh, she didn't go through with a PhD because that's what she didn't want it to do?
She did a lot of government grants and stuff, and then when you run out of money, that's kind of like the end of your job.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
And she got duped into multi-level marketing schemes, and it kind of ruined her life.
Damn, watch out for them multi-level marketing schemes.
Yeah, they're very she was very easily persuaded.
It's a cult. Well, they train the agent to be very persuasive.
Yeah, which sucks because I considered her to have better street smarts.
Yeah.
I'll put it this though, this whole thing, doing a podcast, doing a risk, you can take those risks. And those risks, I don't know if they pay out or not. It seems to not to.
It's better than multi-level marketing.
Yeah, I'm saying it's better off. I'm saying like anything, the PhD or doing the multi-level marketing, but it's the risk of you yourself is the most important. I think that's what we're gathering, that you've taken risk on yourself.
Yes.
So that's it all depends. Like, it doesn't matter if you're going to take a risk on school or job or YouTube or whatever. You have to do it.
So
take the risk.
The biggest thing I've learned and what I go by is I take risks based on what I want to do or be long term. So I wouldn't take risks on anything that would get me off track.
That's true.
Like, doing any job, even though it make a lot of money, but it get me off track from my path of who I'm trying to become.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know that's not going to pay out, even though if I make a lot of money, because I'll be distracted by that and money coming from that.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what happened with the YouTube taking off.
Oh, yeah? It took you away?
Well, it takes you away from something else, for
Yeah.
sure. When YouTube took off, it's like, oh, this is working. Like, why would you even, like, think to ignore that? It's not a common thing to, like, you know, it sucks. A lot of people want to do this, and I'm like, it's hard.
Yeah.
You know, so when something's working, when it started working, that's when you need to literally drop your whole life and dedicate every ounce of effort into making it keep working.
Yeah.
Because it's not a well-oiled machine doing YouTube. You have to keep coming up with new ideas.
Because you have the algorithm.
Yeah, the only thing passive is the money now.
Yeah.
But you got to create the library. You create you're based like the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, once you make the movie, you know, you can get residuals all left and right.
Yeah.
But you got to make it. And you know what I mean? Like, so when I got the opportunity, I went all in on the creativity. I put 120% into it. So yeah, like staying on track with your success or whatever.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to like when I was doing YouTube, I wasn't going to up and like pursue stand-up comedy is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Or you could do it like on your downtime, you know?
Yeah.
Which I did.
Yeah,
like when I was in
good.
Orlando, I was heavy in the comedy scene because I moved there for comedy, believe it or not. And a lot of people don't even know that, but I chose Orlando because my best friend from growing up is a stand-up comic. He's a professional touring stand-up comic.
What's his name?
Carmen Vallone.
Carmen Vallone. Well, shout out to Carmen Vallone.
Yeah, he was just on Dry Bar, and he opened for Joan Rivers.
Oh, wow.
He's actually went to her birthday party, and Jim Carrey was there. So he got
oh, that's cool.
Smoking.
Wow, and that's somebody that
he's
you
close
would
with
want to see.
Shore. He's close with Pauly Shore. He's going to be coming here in July. We have a show together.
Oh, that's tight.
So I'm going to take him around. He said he wants to get on Kill Tony really bad, and he's really good at, like, network. Like, he basically is just like, I'll talk to some people.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, damn, you are going to get on, aren't you, you asshole? I had to wait in line for
Yeah, people are talking Joan Rivers. And Jim Carrey. Be like, Jim, please come on my show.
He knows
please.
everyone on this lineup anyway. He knows, like, he's good friends with Pauly Shore and Mitzi.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they did a lot together. Him and Pauly toured together.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw Pauly 2 years ago.
So he just knows people.
Yeah.
And he told me what I need to be doing out here. I'm not doing any of it. He's like, well, no wonder you're not taking my advice.
The impression is.
Well, that's what he sounds like.
I know. I could already.
He's somebody that you would want to take advice from.
Yeah, you do it. He's like, I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, just, I'm going to open mic. Hey, get away from the open mic scene. You don't need that. Don't do the open mic scene. He goes, you need to be standing outside the mothership every day, just like loitering. And I'm like, you're right. He goes, yeah, like so many people come in and out. You just be there.
I mean, that.
Wow.
He's not wrong.
I might try that.
He's so not wrong, though. He goes, you need to just be staking it out.
Well, you know what I'm going to do now? No. I'm going to stand in front of the mothership smoking a joint. Like, why this guy always smoking a joint? It looked like I just got done performing. Yeah.
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 Yeah. That's so great.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. I mean, I know most of the staff there already and the regular. So.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
That's what he basically is implying. Like, become friends, meet them all. Like, they're the gatekeepers. They're the people that, you know what I mean? And he goes, and what is Austin? Austin's the mothership. He goes, that is why people are going there. Beware why people are going there.
Yeah.
So it made a lot of sense. Didn't do it. I'm a little bit of an introvert on that level.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
You just need something to do, because you just stand there doing nothing. It'll be weird. I could smoke a joint.
Yeah, I
stand there smoking a joint.
That's so funny, though. Yeah, you're just standing there.
Yeah, you're just getting high as fuck. I would have to talk to you, because you just look cool smoking a joint, and then...
What if you panhandle to get some, like, buckets and drumsticks?
Yeah. I wouldn't do that, because then it'll make me seem like a bum instead of a comedian. Yeah, that's not who I want to be long term.
Yeah, you don't want to betray. Yeah.
But I could be a guy that smoke weed long term, so I'll do that. I know people would just talk to me because they know me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not a bad idea. That's a good advice, actually.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's got good. He has really good advice.
Yeah. So I thought about.
He's done it all, man. He even told me like don't even go to Austin. Like his advice was way better than what I should have.
What was his advice?
He said, I gotta just sound like him. He's like, man, you gotta. Like, don't go to the mothership, right? Like,
Yeah.
Everyone's going to the mothership.
Sound like he's in The Godfather.
Yeah.
Not The Godfather.
He's Italian. Yeah, he's super Italian.
That movie with three guys. There's a short guy that kill everybody. Fuck. Not The Godfather. Goodfellas. Yeah, he knows that. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's just like, he goes, the problem with going there is, like, you're not established yet. You know, like, what I would do is I would just follow the path. All around, like from Florida, like even hit up other like Tampa, Jacksonville, and then get into like Georgia, like Atlanta, Georgia, and head up and just do it your own tour. Just go around, hit up all the spots, and really book shows. Don't just do open mics there.
Yeah. Book
shows, like spend a week there, and then by the time you get to the mothership, you'll know everybody. Like you'll just
That's great advice.
I know,
actually.
Yeah. He goes, you won't just show up like some guy that's just trying to make it like everyone else there.
Yeah.
You're gonna be established.
I have a documentary idea like almost close to that.
Yeah.
There are a lot of similarities.
Dude,
cool.
once I'm balling, I would only be in Austin for half of the year, but the other half, I would spend a month in every major comedy city, just living there. Like get soaked in the scene.
Yeah, 1 month.
Yeah.
There's a lot you can do.
Then everybody would know you by then. And especially if you're from Austin, then they know that already. But
you're like it's like almost like a political campaign you're doing on yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. But we all know what the dream is. To build a huge following without even having to do that, just through YouTube or social media. And some people were able to do that. I know some people. And I think you're very close to being there. With your new channel, you have a new channel called Where's JP, and it seemed like you're just documenting your life in Austin. Currently.
Yes.
Yeah. What's your plan for that channel?
Okay, so once I fulfilled the story arc of getting on Kill Tony, and that was like the whole story. It basically started with me in Orlando and my whole journey getting here, and then the grind to get on. I ended it with my mom was worried the whole time, so she's a character in my story. She's like, where are you sleeping now? Are you still in your car? And then I'd give her highs and lows. I'd be like, I got an address. She's like, you got an address? Oh my gosh. She goes, so where are you going to furnish your apartment? I'm like, well, it's not an apartment. She goes, oh, it's a unit. I'm like, yeah, it's a storage unit. And she's like, oh. She goes, that's not.
She knows you.
Yeah. So then I get to Austin. She's like, you still in your car? And I'm like, yeah, but I got good news. I built a comedy club in my studio. She goes, oh, good. You going to move your bed in? I'm like, no, I'm still living in my car. She's like, oh, goodness. So the end of the video is basically me saying, all right, I finally got on Kill Tony. I'm free now. I don't have to sign up anymore. And then my buddy's on the phone with me. He goes, well, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And the next scene is me booking a flight home to surprise my mom.
Oh, so that's next?
Yeah, but I didn't release it because the lawyer said I can't release it unless I take out all of the stuff. I would love for you guys to see it because no one can see it.
Yeah.
And someone needs to see it because it's freaking awesome.
Yeah. So you can't put it out until the whole thing is done.
I can't.
Yeah.
No, I have to take a bunch of like stuff out.
Yeah.
The lawyer's like, you gotta take that out. Take that out. I'm like,
like merchandising stuff from other people, brands.
Well, I'm getting sued by my ex.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay,
healthy junk food.
So a lot of it's the story, like why, like the whole. Rags to riches, the riches to rags is like everything stripped from me, everything taken from me being left with absolutely nothing, and then being like, well, what am I gonna do? Well, I'm gonna just get the hell out of Orlando. I have nothing holding me back. I don't have anything. You know, the house sold. I got nothing. I have no home.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to I'm like, why book a spot, right? When you could be free.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm just gonna just live in the car and travel the road and be a nomad. And I'm like, that sounds fascinating.
Sound like a real comedian. Hans was doing that in his van before he got on Kill Tony.
Yeah, which is the fact that he got the Sprinter van. Like, I kind of envy that because I love like Tesla. I love
Mhm.
driving them. It's such a luxury,
Yeah.
but they're living in it.
Yeah.
It's not great at all.
Do you have like the gym membership to get a shower and stuff like that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Planet Fitness.
Yeah, yeah.
But like the Sprinter van, you should see them. They're like
They're nice.
They're
They're
nice.
so good. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'd be fine chilling in that, but like I can't literally sit up straight when I'm in bed mode.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
claustrophobic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The walls close in.
So that's what I would like to know. You're taking all these risks. Are any other fears coming from other things, like other than the obvious, like money or like where to stay? Have you been developing any other like things that you're like, oh, I never thought about this? Like for instance, like for knowing where to park and where to sleep and stuff like that comes to mind. But like if you're just like, I'm alone by myself right now, like does ever all that time doesn't do anything to you or
No, it's good for self-reflection.
reflection?
Yeah. Downtime is good for self-reflection.
Yeah, it really
for
is.
sure.
Because that was one thing that I got a lot of. I was so codependent in my relationship for 10 years. Being alone it's depressing and hard at first, but once you get like anything, your body gets used to everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we adapt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just have to go through the detox, the struggle. A lot of people don't want to do that. Like quitting a bad habit.
Yeah.
People don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I get it. It's hard.
That's a good word you brought up, detox.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna end this podcast. We had a great time with UJP, and y'all subscribe to his YouTube channel, West JP, and find him on social media. You can shout out your social media, like
Everything is JP Laughs, and I changed it to that because the last name was really hard to spell.
yeah,
And there's a lot of meaning behind it. Like, where's JP is what everyone's saying on the other channel. They're like, where the hell is he? And then for me traveling, everyone's going to be like, well, where are you now?
yeah,
You know, so I really wanted it to be like that. And what I really think would be kind of a good route for me, because I did do the food, but I always wanted to do it with a channel, is when I travel, literally get like engaged with everyone about what's the local best food,
yeah,
because then I could eat really awesome,
Yeah.
write it off, and then turn it into content.
nice. And you could promote those independent
sustain-
food places.
those places. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, instead of like promoting In-N-Out Burger
Because
or
I'm still
Pete Terry.
I'm still a foodie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like here in Austin, I haven't done that.
Yeah.
I don't go out to eat.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So
Well, here in Austin is a gold mine for like independent food. There's so many food trucks and restaurants.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Anything super unique that's like Austin, like identifies Austin with food.
There's a lot, but the most popular spot that tourists go to is Magnolia Cafe. So you can try that out. It's on Congress.
So I'll give you an example when it comes to like this local food stuff. There is in Rochester, where I'm from, a thing called a garbage plate, and it's 2 cheeseburgers on top of mac salad and home fries, covered in meat sauce.
Yeah.
In St. Louis, they have a thing called gooey ooey butter cake, and then they have a thing called Emo's Pizza, and it uses a Provel cheese, which is very unique.
Yeah.
And Philadelphia, obviously, they got the Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah.
In Pittsburgh, they got Permani sandwiches, which is coleslaw and French fries on a sandwich.
Yeah.
And so each region, they have like these very unique. In Nashville, they have hot chicken. That's like what they're famous for.
Yeah.
And I know, like, I would say like Omaha steaks, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just
So
does like I know Austin is big. I know Texas is big on barbecue. Like when I went to Fort Worth and stuff, I feel like maybe barbecue would be like your thing, or Tex-Mex perhaps.
Yeah.
Like chimichangas and stuff. Is that
Yeah.
a big thing? Because I know I did a whole food tour in Dallas, so I learned a lot about the culture of Dallas and the hole in the walls in Dallas.
I've been here 20 years, and I without talking shit, because Austin used to have, like, I think that the soul's gone. I think it's now digital. It's tech. It's just people door dashing. There's no real connection stuff. But I would say you would Tex-Mex is what's like popular. Yes, that would be a good start. Barbecue. But I would say, like, off the top of my head, you were saying all that stuff, and I was like, barbecue is the only thing that comes to my head. And like something like Rudy's is even good. So it's like the barbecue levels are all like you'd think like, oh, that's like a big or whatever, like a corporate, but it's still like the barbecue in Texas is so good. The next thing I would say would be something like that. Would be like I mean, fried chicken's good here, but we're not known for that. But like Tex-Mex. But then I would also encourage you to try Tex-Mex and then going to try only cuisines that's Mexican. And I'm not talking about those $80 northern.
We're talking about like
we're only gonna speak Spanish.
Yeah, like mole and
yeah, like I say, go try that. And when you really try that stuff, you're like, even like a food truck. You find a food truck and they only speak Spanish or something. You go to that and you just point to the thing. Like that's where I'm like, that's the flavor. But I can't think of a food truck off the top of my head.
Have you been to Chilandro? They're trying to mix South Korean with Texas.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That sounds interesting.
That'd be a good food review.
That would be.
Yeah.
I've been to H1 Mart.
Yeah.
That's great. Have you been there?
Yeah, I've been there.
That's incredible. I mean, I love.
They have a good food court.
I love Korean food.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, for example, Orlando. If you ask me, what's Orlando known for as food? There isn't. So that like sometimes there just isn't. You know what I mean? Yeah. In some places, I'm saying.
Yeah.
They don't have like their weird signature thing that everyone craves or whatever.
Yeah.
Like Chicago being deep dish and New York being pizza or whatever. There's nothing in Orlando. I would say Orlando's food would be like anything that like Disney produces because like Disney owns Disney owns all of Florida.
Yeah.
They do. And they do have unique stuff at Disney that would be only at Disney.
Yeah.
So that's literally the only unique. That's literally the only unique thing is whatever Disney decides to whip up, like Dole Whip, for example.
Oh God.
Yeah.
People like go crazy over Dole Whip.
Yeah.
Lines like crazy. It's 2 ingredients. It's soft serve. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's delicious. I love it. I'm just saying, like, yeah.
Or like the Franklin line barbecue here.
I've been there,
dude. I did that before. I mean, I've been there years. But like once that line got popular, I was like, oh, I can't do this again.
I've never done it.
Yeah, I can't. And I was like, it's
because there's a weird hype behind it.
Yeah, it's just a hype. I don't mean to. But it's just
when I want barbecue, I want it right away, so I just go Rudy's and get the briskets.
This translates completely to like mainstream media and music. Like, you know, and people like, oh yeah, my favorite band got big. Screw them. You know what I mean? Like, they got an audience now. I liked them before. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Well, I say it, but the thing is, it's the following. The way the following treats it. Like, I don't mind that they get big. It's the way that people start to get obnoxious and start talking about, well, I waited 8 hours and what do you? I'm like, whatever. Like, okay, whatever. Like,
it ruins it.
So I'm more like, I'm more.
Hey, this used to be fun.
Okay.
Well,
So we are going to end this podcast because we can talk forever about food. So now you know where I find JP. And I forgot to introduce my co-producer, CJ. So check him out. But yeah, thank you for tuning in to our official first episode of Wait, That Didn't Kill Me, where we talk about taking risks. Thank you so much for tuning in.